Versatile Mage. Chapter 314. Breaking Through, Escaping from Danger. Mo Fan glanced at the soldiers. Luckily for him, more giant lizards were attracted to the group. Several of the tyrant lizards were launching their attacks at the temporary fortress they had set up, too. Otherwise, he would have lost his ground long ago. Glancing ahead, the number of giant lizards did not seem to dwindle. He could not even see the end of the street due to the beasts swarming in his direction. He had no idea how many dens of the giant lizards were awakened by his fiery fist, or maybe it was because the giant lizards had also summoned the comrades after mere humans dared to trespass into their territory. Mo Fan panted heavily. His supply of energy was still sufficient, but he was having trouble keeping up with the speed of the giant lizards. His electric field did control the giant lizards within 20 meters that were trying to attack him, but there were so many of them that they were able to use the bodies of their paralyzed comrades as stepping stones. Their fangs were within reach. They could easily smash him into mush with their tails. This is bad. I will surely die at this rate. Mo Fan clenched his teeth and glanced into the sky. Swift Star Wolf, buy me some time. Don't let any of the giant lizards get close to me, Mo Fan said. The Swift Star Wolf quickly glanced at the surrounding giant lizards. Fortunately, the tyrant lizards did not seem to be interested in them. If it were only the giant lizards, he could help hold them back for a period of time. He nodded, telling Mo Fan to carry on with his plan. Mo Fan trusted the Swift Star Wolf. He sat down with his legs crossed above the debris. He began to meditate. He had decided to gamble. His fire element nebula had been refined the most in the three-step tower. Since then, he had been actively involved in battles and training. He could feel that he was close to arriving at the doorstep of the third tier. Even though trying to have a breakthrough while being surrounded by demon beasts was extremely risky, Mo Fan believed that his talents were easily aroused in situations like this, where his life was in danger. As such, he would have to rely on the Swift Star Wolf to look after him for the time being. A woo! The Swift Star Wolf raised its head and let out a deafening howl into the sky. A great tornado began to sweep around his body. Its scale was significantly bigger than the one before, with stronger wind. It was slowly turning into a sandstorm as it gathered its momentum. The tornado rolled forward and swept the giant lizards along its trajectory into the air. The sand spinning inside it might be tiny, but at such incredible speed, they were like bullets that could penetrate walls. The sand bullets ground away at the demon beasts, producing a bloody mist inside the tornado. It had turned into a killing sandstorm. The street, the advertisement boards, and the walls of the shops nearby were heavily damaged. The densely packed holes looked like they were left by a rain of arrows. The troop of giant lizards ended up as dead bodies full of holes, their flesh splattered everywhere. Their thick skin stood no chance against the rapid firing of the sand bullets. A huge number of giant lizards were killed in this bizarre manner. Previously, the Swift Star Wolf was only fighting the giant lizards in close quarters combat, as casting a spell with a huge area of effect like this would consume a significant amount of his energy. The Swift Star Wolf panted heavily after casting the 1,000-piercing sandstorm. However, the attack was super efficient, as it had instantly killed dozens of giant lizards in a certain direction. The giant lizards were not agile, due to their bulky size. Swarming toward them in large packs, the attack turned out to be rather efficient. The number of giant lizards had slightly decreased. More precisely, the number of giant lizards who could still move had greatly reduced, as the corpses of the dead dropped heavily onto those that were still alive, knocking them to the ground. The Swift Star Wolf was utterly attentive to the duty he had been given. In order to ensure that no beast could get closer to Mo Fan, he continuously attacked with spells that would consume a significant amount of energy, holding the giant lizards back. Mo Fan was aware that time was precious. The Swift Star Wolf would not be able to hold on for too long. The fire element nebula burned blazingly in his spiritual world, like an everlasting sun. However, it was still lacking more heat. Mo Fan wanted it to be stronger, to be more vigorous. Daddy has been very kind to you all. Now that my life is in danger, can you stop going into a huff and expand your territory to the neighboring kindergartens, please? Mo Fan went all out with his ironic humor. As a matter of fact, he was feeling extremely nervous. Holding his breath and calming his thoughts, Mo Fan began to focus on his breakthrough. All his focus was gathered on the Fire Element Nebula. He was guiding his spiritual force to support the entire nebula. The nebula used the force to expand, like a galaxy of stars trying to conquer the void and darkness nearby, allowing its brilliance to reach further. The entire process required the magician to drive their spiritual force. If it were described as a tide, in order for the nebula and its energy storage to expand, it had to splash upon the chaotic wall of the nearby darkness and break the chains restricting it, thus allowing the stars to rise to a higher level. Mo Fan did not have much time for several attempts. He had to accomplish it within a few seconds. Otherwise, he would have no choice but to surrender to that mentally disordered woman. Why would he surrender? In Mo Fan's opinion, death was definitely the final resort. He considered using death to proclaim pride a cowardly act. Instead of using death to escape from reality, it was more heroic to stay alive and bear the burden. Woo! The Swift Star Wolf howled to signal Mo Fan that time was running out. It was not because he had failed to hold the giant lizards off, but because his rather powerful attacks had attracted a tyrant lizard nearby. Once the tyrant lizard engaged them, the Swift Star Wolf would have to fully focus on the battle against it, which meant that the giant lizards would be able to climb up the debris and eat Mo Fan alive. On the other side, Jiang Yi had joined the battle too. There were more people in her group, thus they had attracted more giant lizards to them. Her soldiers began to have trouble handling the situation on their own. If Jiang Yi continued to be a bystander, there would be casualties soon. However, Jiang Yi was aware that Mo Fan was in a pinch, too. Is he out of his mind, trying to expand his nebula here? Damn it! Jiang Yi clenched her teeth and forcefully fought her way out from the formation. She could not let Mo Fan die, at all costs. He was their final hope for the experiment of the Blood Serera. Advisor Jiang. The soldiers cried out in panic when they saw Jiang Yi breaking away from the formation. Don't mind me, just protect yourselves. I'll go and save him. Hold your formation. We'll have to clear a path out of here soon. Jiang Yi ordered. Affirmative. The soldiers clenched their teeth and held the ground as they helped Jiang Yi clear a path. As Jiang Yi advanced 100 meters forward, a blazing hot rose flame rose from the debris. Ahead, the light from the fire dyed the entire street red, as the overwhelming heat spread toward the surroundings like a wave. Jiang Yi raised her head from among the giant lizards in astonishment. She could sense strong fiery energy coming from Mo Fan, completely different than before. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.